The impact of antisocial behaviour can be enormous, but if you are suffering, there is help available, and we're going to talk a bit about that now. I'm Lisa Townsend, I'm Surrey's Police and Crime Commissioner, and I'm here today with Joe Grimshaw, who's the head of ASB and Partnerships for Surrey Police. So, Joe, antisocial behaviour, what are the types of antisocial behaviour, and when should people think about contacting the police?
Okay, really good question. So antisocial behaviour, there is no list of what is or isn't, but I think that the best way to kind of describe it to people is how the legislation talks about antisocial behaviour, and that's behaviour that's likely to cause alarm, harassment or distress to any person. And in Surrey, what we do is take that down a little bit more to kind of take it out of the legal speak, to say that actually if the behaviour of somebody else is having an impact on you and it's changing the way that you have to live your life, then that is also antisocial behaviour. So that's what when we talk to partners, when we talk to police officers about, is it antisocial behaviour, it isn't. When you're talking to the victim, when you're talking to the community, if they're talking and saying, you know, I don't go out at night, I don't let my grandkids round because of the behaviour here, you know, I'm too scared to go down the shops because of people hanging around, then that's having a detrimental impact on their life, and therefore that's antisocial behaviour. So I think it's really important we don't have a list, because I think otherwise we'd miss some of the behaviour that maybe is antisocial behaviour, but wouldn't be on a list. And for me, it's about, when do you call the police? If you're fearing for your life, you're seeing a crime in process, that's when you need to call the police. But actually, police are just one of the partners that can tackle ASB. And our local authority colleagues and our community safety teams, environmental health, our housing providers actually have a raft of measures that they can use as well, and are probably more specific to maybe the type of behaviour that you're looking at.
Great. And there is a bigger picture, isn't there, when we talk about antisocial behaviour? Can you tell us a little bit about the work that you and your colleagues have been doing across the country and the effect that that's having?
Yeah, so as a partnership in Surrey, early on, probably 2013, we made a decision that because everybody has a part to tackling antisocial behaviour and supporting victims, that we would set up a partnership in Surrey so that we all try to tackle antisocial behaviour in the same way. So that it's not a postcode lottery, so if you're in Tandridge, you get a different service to if you're in Spelthorne. So that group has kind of grown and matured since 2013 when we came in to look at the legislation. It's now about supporting victims, it's about making sure the messages go across. So again, as we were talking earlier, that people understand who they need to call at that time depending on the behaviour, because I think that's really important. Otherwise people tend not to maybe give us a call because they don't know where to go.
Joe, I often hear from residents that they feel like there's no escape. Now, what can people do if they've reported a problem and they feel like it's still going on and they're not getting any support?
Yeah, and I hear that often as well, and that's not just a Surrey issue, that is
a national issue.
It's a national issue. And I think some of that is because victims of ASB are not afforded the same rights under the Victims Code, and there is some work nationally to try and address that. But in Surrey, we're really lucky, and as part of working with your office, we've been able to commission Mediation Surrey to provide a bespoke service for victims of ASB. And you can either self-refer, or we have officers and our practitioners out there who can also offer that service. And it's about a coaching service, trying to make people more resilient to the behaviour they're having whilst agencies are getting on and dealing with the offenders. So I think that's really important. It's something that actually around the country people look with quite jealous eyes that you know, their victims don't get given that service. And the other one, which is is less known, is the ASB Case review, which was known as the trigger. So if you or someone you know or a community is impacted by antisocial behaviour and if you're not being listened to, that behaviour's continuing, and that you've reported it, and let's be fair, you need to report it because you need to give people a chance to deal with it. But if that's going on, you can ask for an ASB Case review. What that means is there has to be a review of your issue, of the behaviour, to make sure that everybody is doing what they can to help that person with it. And we've had some really good results. This is really about actually coming together and making sure we haven't missed something that's making someone's life absolute misery. And as I said, we probably get about 30 a year into Surrey, and they all, most of the time, have a real positive impact. Whether you're in Woking or whether you're in Reigate and Banstead, you'll get the same service.
So you go to your district or borough council website, you put in ASB Case review, and all the information.
All the information will be there, and it's also on your website as well.
Yes,
so
it is.
If you can get to that link from there. So again, what I would say to people out there, if 3 or more times you've reported something in the last 6 months, and you feel that you're not being listened to, and the behaviour's continuing,
Yeah.
then go online and find that link and fill it out. What we want to be able to show, what the ASB case review does, is that we're seeing the bigger picture.
Yeah.
So you know, there's missed opportunities if we don't work together in tackling
Absolutely.
it.
If antisocial behaviour is something that you or somebody you know is struggling with, you can also go to my website. The link is, of course, within this post, and you can find all of the information there about, as Jo has said, the case review and the various ways in which we're able to support you and other agencies are able to support you as well, because it is a problem that we know is happening in Surrey and support is available. Thank you to Jo. Thank you also from Jo and I to all of the partners who are working so hard on this. Thank you to everybody who reports antisocial behaviour, and please remember there is support out there. Jo and I, working together with Surrey Police, want to make sure that you are as safe as possible in your own home and in your own community. Thank you so much.